Another beautiful late summer day in Atlanta as we welcome you to Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. Our telecast today brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Make it a Hyundai Sunday every week on Fox Sports South. Third, final, and rubber game of our three-game series. The first place Braves trying to fend off the Florida Marlins in Game 3 of our series today at Turner Field. And hi again, friends. Chip, Joe, and Tom with you for this beautiful afternoon of Braves baseball. A great series so far. A huge win for the Braves last night. And ho-hum, a chance for another home series win at Turner Field today.
You know what, though, guys? It's like Brian Jordan said in Braves Live. It goes beyond just series wins. You got to win every game you can down the stretch if you're in a hot pennant race like this. But the Braves' numbers at home certainly speak for themselves. They've got the best record in baseball at 45-18. Real good work here at home over the last 2 weeks, and only one series loss all year long, Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, they've been, you can't say much more about how good they've been at home this year, and, it really has been phenomenal to see what they've done. The flip side of that, I think the Marlins are one of only 3 teams in the National League that have a winning record on the road. So an interesting dynamic in that regard to this thing. But, like Brian alluded to, he's right. You're not so much worried about series anymore. You do want to win the series. That's still obviously important. But now you're trying to match the team behind you day in and day out. And it doesn't matter if you go win 2 out of 3, they sweep. That's a bad weekend for you. So you're trying to win every game you can right now and knock days off the calendar.
Another day game for Derek Lowe. He'll take the ball for the Braves. Hard-throwing right-hander Josh Johnson is the Marlins ace. He'll pitch for them in Game 3 of our series in Atlanta. Stay tuned. First pitch lineups. Braves and the Marlins hook up once again. That's coming up right after this. Park in the Park Day, and Atlanta trying to take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins and post their 18th series win this season here in Atlanta at home. Marlins have been pesky all year, and this is how Edwin Rodriguez lines them up for the final game of the series. Keep an eye on Gabby Sanchez, a terrific young hitter And in line for serious consideration for the Rookie of the Year award for that Florida ball club. Of course, Josh Johnson will pitch for them, and he'll face today's starter for the Braves, Derek Lowe.
Derek's 28th start of the year. He's 11-12. He's lost 3 straight starts, but at home he's been very good. And when you look at his road and home splits, 8-5 here at Turner Field with a better ERA. But the 3 straight losses by scores of 2-1, 2-1, and 6-2. He just needs some runs to work with today. And for Derek Lowe, just 3 walks in his last 7 games. His 4 keys to pitching success involves walks. He walked 5 his last time he faced the Marlins and got no decision. He's got to cut down on those today. And 2 guys there, Ramirez and Ugla, who have very good numbers against him. He's got to be in a position where he can pitch around those guys a little bit and not let them do any damage.
Bonifacio breaks his bat and bounces one out of play, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Braves played a very clean game defensively last night. They'd love the same behind Lowe tonight, with Prado, Gonzalez, Infante, and Eric Hinsky getting the start at first base for Derek Lee. And Brian McCann back in harness, working behind the plate. Braves seem to be, Joe and Tommy, encouraged by the news on Derek Lee. Not considered to be a serious injury that knocked him out of the game last night.
I think I would call it a tweak, just kind of something that bit him a little bit on one swing in his first at bat.
It's kind of listed as we all are, right? Day to day.
Exactly.
Bonifacio's hit the ball hard this entire series. And already Derek with a 3-ball count to the Florida leadoff man. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And not the way he wanted to start today's play. Bonifacio leads off with a walk.
It's not an uncomfortable day at all. Good cloud cover overhead blocking the sun, so the temperatures are mild at 82 degrees. A little bit of breeze blowing out toward left. So even though this is his 11th day game, Derek shouldn't have too much trouble with the conditions.
Logan Morrison, the hitter now, with a man aboard and nobody out. Morrison hit his first big league home run here in the first inning on Friday night. But Tim Hudson took him to school last night. Struck him out twice. And he is a good-looking player.
Not a bad start to his career. He's hitting safely in 24 out of 28 games so far in his career. If he continues to do that, I think he's going to be a pretty darn good player.
I think they'll like him a lot.
Morrison's a first baseman by trade, and they've kind of done the Ryan Klesko thing with him. Put him out in left field because they've got Gabby Sanchez to play first base. They love his bat, and we saw at times what can happen to an inexperienced outfielder when he and Hanley Ramirez collided.
Yeah, he's a little hyper out there.
My kind of guy, Joe.
I know he is, Mr. Carey. But he may have to figure out that he doesn't have to catch everything that's hit in the air, whether it's toward him or not.
Marlins have tried to be pretty aggressive on the base paths in this series, too. Let's see if Bonifacio is running in the opening inning. 2 balls and a strike.
One thing about a young hitter, though, is after the way Hudson worked everybody over last night and Derek following him with the good sinker, you might get Morrison to be a little impatient, especially in a hitter's count.
Boy, was he good last night.
Been good all year. Been a phenomenal comeback for him.
Career high 13 strikeout game for Hudson as the runner is going, and it's shot past Infante and into right center field. And the Marlins have runners at first and third on a bullet by Logan Morrison.
Not a bad pitch. Outer third of the plate.
Not a bad pitch. And, I think, and honestly, from the Marlins standpoint, not a bad idea putting that runner in motion right there. Because if he did, we did have a tough game against Huddy last night. You're facing a similar guy today with the sinker baller. So if you put in his mind that, hey, he's just trying to hit the ball hard on the ground somewhere, it's going to be a productive out. Might keep him from trying to lift on it a little bit and try and pull a pitch that he shouldn't be pulling.
But now Derek in the part of the lineup that's really hit him hard, and you heard the guys talk on the pregame show. Hanley Ramirez 12 for 24 in his career against Derek Lowe. And he bats here in the opening inning with nobody out.
And again, you'd like to be in a position where you can pitch around Ramirez and Uggla a little bit, and he's not.
Yeah, in this situation, he's going to have to go after one of these guys and kind of pick your poison, especially with Hanley. He's hit Derek extremely well, as we know. And it just so happens that he's hot again here in August, and August happens to be statistically the best best month in his career so far. So, be interesting to see how Derek attacks him.
And he hit the ball hard last night off Hudson. He hit the ball twice, real hard. Once fair for a hit, once foul, harder than anybody last night. And both pitches were in off the plate.
Strikeout would be nice.
Strikeout would be real good.
Derek's on pace for his usual. He's never, ever been on the disabled list. He's working in his 161st inning of the year. On pace for close to 200 innings again.
A flinch from Adrian Johnson behind the plate, but no call. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Fox Tracks disagrees. That was a good pitch.
That was a pitcher's pitch there. Now he's got to do it again.
Rocket hit to left. And instead of a strikeout, Ramirez hits it out. And Hanley Ramirez continues to crush Derek Lowe. A 3-run homer and still nobody out.
Looked like a backup slider.
Well, and that's the trouble with the pitch before. He made the pitch that he wanted to make, didn't get the call, and 9 times out of 10, when you try to come back with that same pitch, you try to throw the next one a little bit better, and a lot of times that's what ends up happening. Is you hang it a little bit or you don't hit your spot. And hanging sliders go a long way.
So a strike to Dan Uggla. He's got a ton of power, as you know. Dan with 29 long balls this year.
Inning started with a walk, though. Can't ignore that.
Another hard hit ball down the left field line. That one high off the fence. 4 hitters in a row have reached to start the game, and they are not missing.
Billy Wagner was talking about their ball club before the game with me about how this club really is in a groove right now, swinging the bat real well. Young players that are up, swinging it well, like Morrison. And he said, you know, the other night when we were watching this game, the first game, and Maben hit a homer, then Morrison, 2 homers later from Ugla and Sanchez, he said, it's like their ball carries. He said, they hit these high fly balls, you think, well, that's a fly ball out. But they're not. They're going out of the ballpark, and they're just a tough offensive ball club to deal with.
And they don't have one of their best players able to play right now. That's Chris Coughlin, the Rookie of the Year.
Or Cody Ross anymore,
yeah.
or Jorge Cantu.
Or Ronnie Paulino. Yet here they are, 8.5 back in the race. And they've given Josh Johnson a 3-run first inning lead.
They seem to always be a team that can hit. You know, you have Hanley and Ugla in the middle of that lineup, you're going to score some runs.
And then you factor in Gabby Sanchez and his .289 average. He's knocked in 70 and 33 doubles. One ball, one strike.
And see what he's done, or what Edwin Rodriguez has done, the manager of the Marlins. He's moved Gabby Sanchez out of the 2 spot where he'd been most of the year and has had a good year. He moves him down in the 5th spot behind Ugla, and he's getting RBI opportunities. And he's driving in a ton of runs. 17 RBIs his last 19 games.
Yeah, they've moved guys all over the place in their lineup. Mike Stanton hit 5th for a while. That put him in the tailspin that he's residing in right now. As a ground ball to second will be the first out of the game. Ugla to 3rd. Chad Tracy coming up.
Good at bat. Got the guy over and set him up to get an additional run.
Hear what they say in the dugout? Way to get him over.
Much appreciated by the boys in the dugout.
Here's Tracy. Tracy a couple of doubles and a single in the series. And the Braves infield comes in down 3-0.
Who knows what the Marlins are going to be able to do? Like you say, they're kind of creeping back into the picture a little bit in the wild card and even in the division. But imagine what this lineup would look like with Cantu still in the middle of it.
Yeah, they pretty much made the decision, especially when they let Cody Ross go through the waivers. They didn't even make a trade there. They just got the waiver price, which I think is about $50,000 for Cody Ross when he went to the Giants, was that they weren't going to challenge. And they wanted to let Maben play center field every day and find out if he could or couldn't play.
It's funny how that works, though, sometimes, you know. And I, from an organization standpoint, I think that's the right thing to do. You have to find out if that kid can play or not. I mean, he's been up, he's been down. Sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. Sooner or later, you got to find out if he's the center fielder of the future or not. But sometimes when your organization gives that perception that they've given up a little bit, everybody tends to relax a little bit more.
First and third for Lowe. Mike Stanton, who's been struggling, will dig in. Here in the very long floor to first. Lowe already up to 28 pitches.
I know the fans are booing a little bit, but that's not a bad walk right there. You know, you're runner on third, less than 2 outs. You're banking on either a hard-hit ground ball at somebody or a strikeout to keep them from scoring. Now you can put the infield back at double play depth, and a normal ground ball gets you out of the inning.
Did you look at batting averages, Tommy, or did you look at who's hot at the time you were facing?
A little bit of both. I mean, you knew by the batting averages, obviously, guys that were having good years. But, you did tend to pay attention a little bit to who was hot at the time. And, sometimes that would influence how you would go after somebody.
And as Joe mentioned, this guy is maybe their coldest hitter. A lot of strikeouts piled up. And he's got the 8th place hitter next.
He's not swinging the bat well right now. He's only got 3 at-bats against Derek, so there's not a lot of history there. So you would figure that Derek would have the upper hand in that matchup.
And he did. Well, right now, Mike is swinging at the invisible ball.
Which is fine by Derek. He's 0 for his last 25 coming into this at-bat with 11 strikeouts. So Derek really worked him over with some sliders and some good pitches.
That's the pitch he wanted to make to Hanley right there, and he just, that might be the difference. You as a pitcher, you have a little bit more confidence in that pitch, knowing that the guy in the batter's box is not swinging the bat well versus Hanley swinging it as good as he is. You try to be perfect.
Well, that run at third base might prove to be a big one later today, so it's important Derek continue to make good pitches here to the 8th place hitter Davis to try to get out of the inning. With Josh Johnson, you can't give him too much of an advantage.
Yeah, it may not seem like it, but psychologically, being down 3-0 is a lot better than being down 4-0.
And now Derek 1 strike away from getting out of this 34 pitch first inning.
He's having one of my first innings. He's just getting all out of the way early. Letting the boys know, hey, we got to score a few runs today.
Well, it sure wasn't a problem last night. Braves had a 6-run second.
The thing these things I'm sure these guys are thinking too is, look, it's a 3-0 lead. And yes, it's Josh Johnson, but this is not the Josh Johnson of the first half of the year. He's struggled here, particularly in the month of August. So they've got to figure they're going to get some opportunities.
First 4 Marlin hitters reached. Hanley Ramirez, a long 3-run homer. Eight hitters stride to the plate. 3 of them score. But the double by Ugla with nobody out might prove to be a very big play indeed in this game. Florida 3, Braves coming up for the first time in Atlanta. With Florida in front by a 3-0 score. Here's how the Braves line up with a 2-game lead over the second-place Phillies. Martin Prado, 5 RBIs in the game last night, 12 for the month of August since he's come back from the DL. Let's hope he's as productive and as busy in today's game.
Josh Johnson on the mound for his 27th start. Great big guy out of Jinx, Oklahoma, 26 years old, 6'7", 250. But the month of August has not been kind to him. 5 starts, a 5.34 ERA. And in those starts, 30 innings, 35 hits, 10 walks, 20 and 20 strikeouts. Usually his strikeouts are about even with his innings pitched, and certainly that's a lot more hits than we're used to seeing against him. His 4 keys to pitching success today: fastball command. That's what's been lacking according to scouting reports this month.
Up the middle. Ugla had him played perfectly, but made a bad throw.
And the dog days. Hey, it's Bark in the Park Day. Maybe the dog days will get to Josh Johnson today, too, if August is hurting him. Omar had himself a base hit here if this doesn't skip off the side of the mound.
Yeah.
Should have been a routine throw for Ugla, but he short-hopped Sanchez.
That's Dan's 15th error of the season and a break for the Braves. Jason's had a good series. 3 for 7 with a homer and has scored 3 runs.
This guy throws in the low to mid-90s. Got a good cutter and breaking ball.
Going back to Josh Johnson, his second half, or his season this year, kind of mirrors his career. And 61 first half starts in his career. He's 25-12 with a 2.5 ERA, and in the second half he's been 20-9 with a 3.8. So while he's still been able to win in the second half of the year, he's not been as dominant as he is in the first half of the year.
This is his second year back from Tommy John surgery.
And that's tipped and caught, and Hayward is down on strikes. Rap on the Marlins early in the year was they really had trouble defensively. And Ugla made the error here in the first. So we'll see if they can catch it behind Johnson in game 3. 3-0 Florida, the early lead. Martin carries a 3-game hit streak into today's play.
Johnson's last start came against the Mets. He got no decision, and the Marlins lost 6-5, and he was only able to go 5 innings. Gave up 6 hits and 4 walks in 5 innings.
Does kind of speak to what kind of year he's had, though, that he's 11-5 with a 2.3, and we're kind of talking about how he's struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Well, he was, I think, 11 or 10-1 or something, 9-1 at the beginning.
Well, he had that stretch of 12 straight games where he went 6 innings or more, allowed 2 runs or less, 3 runs or less, something like that.
Well, that's a pitch you know Martin likes to hit and is successful hitting. Good high ball hitter. And that one was just right on by him.
So the shift on for Brian as he looks at a high fastball. 1 ball, no strikes.
Makes you feel good as an infielder or outfielder. You botch a play and you put your pitcher into the stretch, and then he just takes care of business from there. There was a part of the season to me where it was a no-brainer that Ubaldo Jimenez was going to win the Cy Young Award. He was going to run away with it. And then he lost a couple of games and cooled off, and this guy took over where it looked like he was going to be the no-brain winner.
Then you factor in Adam Wainwright, who for a while hadn't lost a home game all year. That's finally gone by the boards. Now maybe Tim Hudson, with his great run at 15-5, has crept up.
Huddy is definitely in the conversation now.
Yeah. And Tim's work has just been steady all year.
Johnson doesn't walk many. That's his first today. And Eric Hinsky a chance to tie the game with 1 swing.
But he has been walking some guys lately, and that's been part of his fastball command issues, that he hasn't been able to throw strikes and get ahead in the count with it. And maybe an error and a walk and a blast puts things in a little different light for Derek Lowe.
Eric came on in the 4th inning last night after Derek Lee hurt his side and did blast a homer in game 2 of the series. Look out. Nothing in 2.
See, after that high fastball, now if he tries to come back with something, break curveball in the dirt or change up in the dirt.
Base hit. Infante will score, and the Braves answer with a 2-out run scoring hit from Eric Hinsky. And they do cash in the Ugla error.
That's a huge hit for everybody. It's a huge hit for the Braves offense to cut into the lead. It helps Derek Lowe, I think, but it also puts Josh Johnson on notice that the Braves are not going to go quietly.
Absolutely, and again, you get to the psychological side of it. You know, now a 3-run inning, yeah, it's certainly manageable and doable, but it's not quite as much the realm of possibility as just the old bloop and a blast. Now that deficit is much more manageable.
Yep.
And Alex Gonzalez with a 10-game hitting streak backs. And lines out to third to retire the side. Braves get an unearned run, but the lead cut to 2. It's now 3-1 Florida after 1. Sherwin-Williams, by your local Ford dealers, by AirTran Airways, and by AT&T Uverse. 3-1's the score as we head to the second inning. Joe, Tom, and Chip with you. And Josh Johnson, the Marlins pitcher, will lead things off.
A good hitting pitcher. Maybe not this year average-wise, but he's got 3 career homers, and the Braves saw one of them. The dead center field in Florida.
He's now 5 for 55 this season. Derek has struck out the last 3 Marlins hitters. And you can guarantee yourself Braves postseason tickets when you buy a 2010 prorated season ticket plan starting at only $6 per ticket. Join us for the race for the pennant. To order, visit Braves.com/tickets or call 404-577-9100. Well, that sounded funny coming off the bat, didn't it?
I think he bunted it off the cup on the end of the bat.
He's had a good series and been a pain in the neck. 3 hits and a leadoff walk today that set the whole first inning up.
He was the toast of Florida opening day last year. In his Marlins debut, hit an inside the park home run. After coming over from the Washington Nationals. Last guy to hit an inside the park home run on opening day before Bonifacio was Carl Yastrzemski. That was in 1968. Good start for Lowe, 2 quick outs. Morrison singled ahead of the Ramirez homer. And that ball smoked to center. Ooh. And it was rising as it got to Rick Ankiel. Lowe has a much needed 1-2-3 second.
First look at the Tigers as they take the field with a brand new high-powered offense. Arkansas State, Auburn, Saturday 7 Eastern on Fox Sports South.
Yeah, it's always exciting to start thinking about college football. We're still thinking about a pennant race. Braves with a 2-game lead over the Phillies as we enter the final days of the month of August already. And here are the Braves' second, lower third coming up. Cabrera and Keel and Derek Lowe. And a 4-pitch walk.
You know, the scouting report we got on Josh Johnson is really coming to pass here in the first inning, +1 batter, and that is he's a guy whose stuff is so good. He's always pitching ahead in the count and putting hitters away. Now he's pitching behind in the count, and even if he does get ahead, he's not able to just set people down.
Tying run in the batter's box in the form of Rick Ankiel, and now 5 in a row have missed the target.
Tom, what's the hardest part about pitching this time of year? You're starting to rack up a lot of innings.
It's fatigue. You got to start learning how to pitch when you're tired. You're not as fresh as you were in April or June, and you get fatigued. You start losing a little bit on your stuff. You start losing a little bit on your location, generally up, and those are all things you got to start to learn how to make adjustments on and pitch through. You know, and I think watching him right now, I mean, I don't know. This is just a guess, but you know, again, the psyche of pitching. I don't care how good your stuff is. When it's going good, you're more apt to be in the zone. Here I come. I'm coming at you. And when you're struggling a little bit, even if you got great stuff, you're less inclined to want to attack that strike zone. You nibble a little bit more. You know, you get into that where you've heard people talk about, you know, certain guys are not afraid to pitch to contact. Other guys are afraid to pitch to contact. And all that really means is, you know, when you're going good, you're throwing it in the zone because things are going good. When you're not going good, you're trying to get it on the outside corner, get it on the black, get it at the knees. You know, you're a little, try to be a little bit more fine, and it's tough to pitch that way.
One ball, 2 strikes to Rick Ankiel. He's 3 for 7 lifetime against Josh Johnson. And has a big hole on the right side of the infield. And that ball dropped by Ramirez, and Melky in no man's land is an easy out, and Ankiel reaches for Derek Lowe.
Like that short hopped his glove to begin with.
I think he might have had sights on dropping that ball on purpose, trying to get a double play, but Ankiel was hustling out of the box, so it wasn't going to happen.
Derek Lowe pops up the bunt. Well, Joe and I talked last night, Tommy, about the need for the Braves to do a lot of little things down the stretch. They had endured a run of a couple of weeks where getting guys from second to third, scoring runners with less than 2 out, getting sacrifices down, really escaped them. Last night, though, Joe, Braves did a really good job of playing small ball.
Yeah, in all facets. Moving runners over from second, getting them in from third with less than 2 outs, and Tim Hudson got down the only bunt attempt they tried after the Braves had been 0 for 4 in their last 8 games of getting a bunt down.
And Keel's running. The throw to second, tails into the runner, it ends up in center field. Ball dropped out there by Bonifacio, but no further advance. First steal is a Brave for Ankiel. He'll move to third on the throwing error.
And if that throw had a little more steam on it and gets under Bonifacio, he might have scored. But it hit Rick and slowed it down.
Braves already have 1 2-out hit, but won't get another from Infante as it's into right field. And Mike Stanton makes the play. And Keel left stranded. 3-1 your score after 2.
Blast. Didn't take long for that one to occur, and it was in the first inning. Off the bat of Hanley Ramirez. Looked like Derek Lowe had him struck out, but on the following pitch, he knocked it out. And that has accounted for all 3 runs for the Marlins thus far. It's 3-1 Fish.
That one sounded loud.
Yeah, boy. He is tough. Anything middle of the plate in, he doesn't miss it.
He's hit 3 home runs this year against the Braves. And trying to get that batting average back up over 300. Ramirez, you recall, won the batting title by hitting .342 last season.
And he was another one of those good acquisitions in a position where the Marlins were in a position where they had to move a player. And they moved 2. They moved Josh Beckett and Mike Lowell to Boston, which was huge for Boston. It still is.
Trade worked out pretty well for both sides.
Yeah. The Marlins got Hanley Ramirez coming the other way.
And Anibal Sanchez. In that trade. That was back in November of 2005. And Hanley, the first guy that they locked up long term. He'll play in their new ballpark. Ramirez signed for the 2014 season. They've got Josh Johnson locked up. There's talk that maybe Dan Uggla will be next. Broken bat line drive. And Hanley Ramirez is 2 for 2. And 14 out of 26 now against Derek Lowe.
I had some friends from Boston, Tom, and there's another one of those pitches inside, who after the Red Sox won their first world title and Josh Beckett was involved so mightily in that, he was saying, gosh, to think if we still had Hanley Ramirez, how good we would be. And I thought, well, wait a minute, which one do you want?
Yeah. It's funny how people kind of take that look at things.
Yeah, if we had everybody.
Yeah. If we had all of our best players that we ever had, imagine how good it would be.
You know, you can say that in truth about the Marlins. And whatever the motivation was, just as far as the stuff that we've all been reading online about the leaked documents in Major League Baseball, it looks like they could have maybe kept Miguel Cabrera. Because the guys that got back haven't worked out for them, Maben and Andrew Miller. So put Miguel Cabrera in there with Uggla and Ramirez, and what kind of offense would you have?
Yeah, but there again, the flip side of that too is if you kept Miguel Cabrera, could you then still keep Hanley? Could you keep Josh Johnson? Would you be in a position to go after Uggla if you wanted to? So, you know, you don't ever know, and I think that part of that too might have been the, you know, the Miguel Cabrera influence in that clubhouse might have been a little bit more than they were willing to deal with anymore.
And the Marlins say that the money that they didn't pay Cabrera is going to help them get their new ballpark built. It's online in 2012. Ramirez running, check swing by Uggla. And Hinsky's got to hurry, and he won't get there in time. Eric argues with the first base umpire. Bobby Cox out for a talk, too. The entire dugout went to the top step after the play.
That's a rookie umpire. I've never seen him work until this series. His name is Alan Porter. He worked last night. It's the first time we've seen him. And a little in-betweener where Derek Lowe didn't get over. Hinsky has the foot race. Couldn't see where Uggla's hand hit the bag. Like he was out.
So Uggla 2 for 2 gets an infield hit. And the third inning starting much like the first did. 2 on, nobody out.
Something going on with Hanley at second base.
Heart's racing. I thought maybe he had gone in head first thinking he had to slide, but there's no dirt on his jersey. And he wanted the trainer to feel his chest.
Well, are you staying or are you going, Hanley? Now finally Tim McClellan's making his way ever so slowly out between short and third. And he's apparently going. Wow. We'll get an update on Hanley Ramirez as soon as it's made available. But Donnie Murphy will come on and pinch run. Ramirez taken out of this game.
It's another angle on the race to the bag. Hinsky and Uggla. It's out. Uggla's hand went to the side of the bag.
Big swing and a miss by Gabby Sanchez.
It's like the Marlins were down at the end of that tube of eye black again, Tom.
Yeah. I want to take it with you on the next leg. saw Bryce Harper taking BP with the Nationals the other day, and he didn't have it on.
They said he put on quite a show, too.
Yeah.
That's one bit of good news for the Nationals this week. Of course, Strasburg with Tommy John surgery coming up. I mean, it's obviously a terrible blow for their club, but really a terrible blow for baseball. He was such a draw for the Nationals, and every place he went. Braves had 40-something thousand the night he pitched, 19,000 the next. And you hope he can come back like Tim Hudson, like Josh Johnson have, and have a dazzling career. And Lowe loads him up. Third walk in the game.
Yeah, I can't remember too many guys who kind of created that kind of buzz where people in visiting ballparks would come to a game just to see him play. I mean, I don't know if maybe Dwight Gooden was that way as a rookie. I don't really remember. The only guy I can kind of vaguely remember being like that when I was a kid was Mark Fidrich.
That's the guy.
You know, and
that's the guy.
And he was for all the other reasons. I mean, he didn't have the stuff. It was the show that he put on the mound that everybody wanted to see. But he did pitch pretty well.
Entertaining. Put up some good numbers, and then as soon as he got hurt, everybody was crushed that they weren't going to get to see Mark Fidrich pitch in their ballpark, especially the Tigers.
Well, you look at the body of work for Tim Hudson after his Tommy John surgery. Josh Johnson's 33-11 since he's had the operation. If what they say about that surgery is true, that pitchers can come back and actually be better with the new ligament, just think what kind of stuff Strasburg potentially has.
Well, I don't know if he's going to go from throwing 97, 98 to throwing 103, 104, but
center field base hit by Chad Tracy. That will plate at least one. And Dan Uggla comes around to score to make it a 5-1 game. In the second inning in this game, Lowe has allowed 4 straight Marlins to reach.
And the play, the controversial play at first base, looms large too. Pitch that was up, he was trying to get it down, looked like a sinker that just wouldn't sink enough for him.
And that'll get the Braves bullpen busy. Lowe delivers as Alex Gonzalez snuck in behind Gabby Sanchez. Fortunately, the pitch was well off the plate.
This is a guy that hit a home run so hard in Florida off Chris Medlin that Chipper went up to Medlin after the game and gave him a high five and said, "Man, that was a missile. Way to go."
You got to give him up, make him good.
Fly ball to left.
One thing about Derek, when you look at his first 3 innings of work, and I think it's telltale, is that he's among the league leaders in ground balls among total outs he records. And today he has a ground ball out from Gabby Sanchez in the first inning, and that's it. He does have some strikeouts, but only 1 ground ball out so far.
5 runs, 6 hits allowed. can't get anything over for a strike.
Yeah, he's definitely searching for it.
"70 pitches, 37 strikes, 33 balls for Lowe." That's not like him.
Derek had a high ERA after the All-Star break last year, but in 15 starts he went 7-3. .505 ERA, but a 15-game winner for the year.
And a nice comeback to take care of Davis. Josh Johnson bats for the second time in as many innings.
That's the third or fourth time I've seen Derek shaking his hand after a pitch. I don't know if he's got his hand sweating or something's going on, but
he's been wearing those sleeves in day games because he says it helps control the sweat, if it is the sweat. He said it helps wick the sweat away from him and dries it out.
yeah, no, I would have that problem sometimes too, but you know, that's what a lot of guys use that rosin bag for. But I was never one that liked it. I thought when I used it, it made my hand too sticky, and then I was afraid the ball wasn't going to come out.
Back to the mound. Florida tacks on a couple more runs. Chad Tracy with a 2-run scoring single makes it a 5-1 game. Five runs on 6 Florida hits. And a Atlanta will start things off with Jason Hayward. Busy day here at Turner Field. We've got Bark in the Park Day. We also have Skin Cancer Awareness Day ongoing. The Braves Wives Association partnered with the Skin Cancer Awareness Network Foundation and Piedmont Hospital. They're raising funds and awareness today for their cause. 50% of the proceeds from tickets sold for today's game through the SCAN Foundation are donated to the organization. And doctors were available out in Monument Grove, giving out sunscreen samples, informational literature, and a skin spot check. So we applaud the folks with the Skin Cancer Awareness Network and the Braves Wives for a very worthwhile cause today.
And we applaud Jason Hayward for base hit.
Yeah. You know, again, Derek did some damage control again there in the third inning. This game's still manageable, especially on a day where Josh Johnson looks vulnerable and has not pitched well in the month of August.
Couple of walks for Johnson, couple of hits allowed.
Just pick up some single runs along the way here and see what happens later on.
Got the guys up there to do it. Here's Martin. The Phillies play out in San Diego later on today. Braves ahead of them by 2 games in the East. That's Cole Hamels and Clayton Richard at Petco Park.
Clayton Richard's pretty good. Mostly you hear about Matt Latos and John Garland, but Clayton Richards has really come on. Big lefty.
12-5 for the Padres. Hamels 7-10 for the Phillies. Got a big offensive game from Shane Victorino. Big defensive play from Shane Victorino yesterday to win 3-1 in San Diego yesterday.
He and Rollins seem to be carrying the load offensively for that club.
And that's been a problem, hasn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
They've not swung the bats well this month.
No, not at all. They had, I think it was going into that series, they had scored 2 runs or less in 7 of 8 games, and won in 12 innings the first game of that series, and won yesterday 3-1.
This is an important stretch for the Braves. They're at home while the Phillies are on the road. Braves are playing the Marlins and Mets. Phillies are playing the Padres. The Dodgers then have to make a 1-game pit stop in Colorado for a makeup game. So an opportunity at least for the Braves with a good homestand to at the very least maintain their position and perhaps add to it atop the division.
Just watching Gabby Sanchez go after that foul ball, and it finally dawned on me who he reminds me of. He's not a left-handed hitter, but he looks like Tino Martinez.
He does.
Second strikeout of Prado in the game by Johnson, and his 3rd in total today.
Another high fastball. That one just a little off the plate. Martin might have been caught guessing middle of the plate in there too, and still tried to fight it off. From a hitter's standpoint, Tom, this guy's awfully tough, just timing-wise, because he has very simple, quiet mechanics, and then the ball just explodes out of his hand.
Yeah, and that's that's the thing that's tough for hitters to kind of gauge. Is it, you're right? It's just nice and easy, and then boom, the ball's just on top of you in a hurry. Versus other guys that are kind of the max effort guys, and everything's 100 miles an hour. You're kind of geared up for that.
May surprise you, Josh Johnson wasn't a first-round pick. I didn't know that. He was a fourth-round choice. How does a guy like this fall 3 rounds in the draft? Big 6'7", 249-pound kid.
There was something about him. Nobody was anxious to draft him on it. I mean, Mike Stanton was a second-round pick. Mike Stanton, though, was a guy who wasn't a year-round baseball player. He was a great athlete who played a lot of different sports. I'm sure Josh Johnson did, too. But Stanton wasn't a guy who was playing a lot of travel ball and all-star teams and all that stuff.
Tracy will flip to Ugla, and the Marlins shift pays dividends as McCann is doubled up to end the Braves' third. 5-1's your score. And it is a dog day afternoon for Derek Lowe, knocked out of the game after 3 innings of work. And that will make our first AT&T call to the bullpen. And it's answered by the Marlins minor league pitcher of the year last year. That's right, now pitching for the Braves, Christian Martinez.
He's got a good arm. Pitched here a couple of nights ago after the Marlins blew the game open and knocked Tommy Hansen out. Christian came in and worked 2 innings of 1 hit shutout ball, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Just 1 walk and 13 strikeouts in 16 2/3 innings for the Braves this year.
Martinez went to the Marlins in the 2006 Rule 5 draft from the Tigers. Then the Braves got him. And he's been doing, as Joe said, very good work out of the Braves pen. They'll try to put out the fire, work some innings, and let the bats get back in this game. Down 5-1.
It's hard for a guy, wouldn't you agree, Tom, to come from a different organization late in spring training or at the beginning of the season and then try to impress somebody to give you a chance to pitch in the big leagues?
Oh, it is. I mean, I think there's always an element of difficulty when you're changing teams, but when you're changing teams that late, into spring training where, you haven't had a chance to show anybody at the big league level what you can do. Now you're trying to improve everything at the AAA level. Yeah, it's difficult.
Handy Ramirez left this game for Florida. Not exactly sure what it was while he was on the base paths, so that knocks down the Marlins offense a bit. But Bonifacio puts a charge into that ball, and that's fair. And a break. It'll be a double. It would have been at least 3.
I mean, to tell you, this guy and Tracy, you expect trouble from Ramirez and Ugla and Gabby Sanchez, but Bonifacio and Tracy have been the guys in this series that have just run amok. That ball wasn't a strike, and he turned on it and kept it fair.
That's the most impressive part, is he kept that ball fair. That ball usually ends up over the dugout or off the shin.
Yeah. Billy Wagner was talking about pitching to this guy 2 nights ago, and Wagner came in to get some work.
Nice piece of hitting to get Bonifacio to third.
He said the most impressive thing was, he said he wasn't flinching. He was very comfortable in the box against me, and didn't matter what I threw him. He was very comfortable keeping his front side in there, and then eventually drew a walk.
I thought it was so funny the other night when Billy got his record strikeout for left-handed relievers, and David Ross and Tim McClellan are both trying to call a timeout and get the ball, and Billy's like, "What are you doing? Sit down. Let's go."
Well, that's typical Billy, isn't it?
It is so typical of Billy.
Infield in now for Donnie Murphy. His first. He's the man that replaced Handy Ramirez. Joe and I talked about it last night. Really loved Billy's comment after someone made note, "Hey, you've set the all-time record." He said, "Who cares? We lost."
Yeah. Well, that's Billy. I mean, he doesn't care really much what he's doing. He's worried about his team.
This guy's had 3 at-bats against Atlanta this year. 2 hits, one of them a game winner, and a walk.
Foul at third.
These guys are trying to do to Atlanta what the Braves did to them last night. You might remember the Braves got 6 runs in the 2nd inning and then added to it with a couple of runs in the 3rd. They just kept adding on to their lead until they finally kind of pounded them into submission. Well, that's what the Marlins would like to do. They lead 5-1, have a chance for another run at third base. And what good teams do, they just keep adding on.
And Donnie Murphy is going to do it to the Braves again. He'll round second, and he's going to head to third with a triple.
That's a pretty short, easy swing right there. But easy to do on a letter-high fastball.
Letter-high fastball, yeah.
Is it just me, or is this one not as much fun as last night?
I'll tell you what, so far it's not as much fun as most of the Sundays that I've been here.
6-1 Florida, a 4th inning lead. And Ugla 2 for 2. High fly ball. Long run out there for Melky Cabrera. He's got it. And 2 are out. We have received word from the Marlins clubhouse. Hanley Ramirez left the game with lightheadedness.
Too bad he didn't get that like in warm-ups.
Yeah. For the home run.
Mm-hmm. That spot in the order only needs a double for the cycle today.
I was going to say, it hasn't been much of a downgrade going to Donnie Murphy.
After this game, the Marlins head home. They'll start a homestand with the Nationals tomorrow night. And then they'll be off on Thursday while the Braves are playing New York. And we'll play 3 games against the Marlins starting September 3rd down in Miami. Well, they are hitting everything hard.
This guy is only a first baseman. Logan Morrison has shown you already that he's a pretty good athlete, can play left field and move around and cover some ground. They don't have the luxury of, say, switching Gabby Sanchez to another spot. He is a first baseman, and that's about all he can play.
Cue shot to short. High throw, but Hinsky got down in time to make the play. Another Marlins run across, 6-1. In part by Verizon, by Dodge, by Geico, and by Georgia Power. Derek Lowe didn't have it today. Florida touched him for 5 runs. They picked up another off Christian Martinez, and now Josh Johnson, staked to a 6-1 advantage, goes to work in inning number 4. We did so much bragging on the work of Tim Hudson last night. Tim has an unbelievable stat. 130-2 when he's given a lead of 3 runs or more in a big league game. Josh Johnson, percentage-wise, is just as efficient. Doesn't have as many chances as Tim. But 32-1 when given a 3-run lead or better.
Guy who likes pitching in day games too. This year he's only 4-2 but lifetime 15-3 in day games.
Ugla, a lot of ground to cover, and Johnson with a big wingspan covers the base for out number 1. Here's our AT&T Ubers trivia question this afternoon. Who has the lowest career ERA in the history of the Marlins? The minimum of 400 innings pitched.
Josh Beckett, A.J. Burnett, Al Leiter,
Kevin Brown,
Dontrell Willis.
I like Kevin Brown. John Burkett,
Charlie Huff.
Now you're going out on the limb a little bit.
He started the first game for the Marlins in their history.
He might be the answer now.
That's some pretty good starting pitchers, though, that
Yeah.
just threw out there for them.
At one point they had, not among starting pitchers, but relief pitchers, they had Trevor Hoffman, Rob Nen, and Brian Harvey in their organization. Amazing.
I was going to say, for people who don't remember, those three were pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Brian Harvey, that stage of his career. Man, oh man.
Out of play foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another one of those. Well, if they had all those guys together still, might never lose a game. For the Braves dugout, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marlins have been tough. Braves have beaten them 6 out of 11 times, and we've got them 6 more times after today's game.
Here's another thing that becomes tough, and I'll ask you to speak to this, Tom, and that has to do with Derek Lowe getting roughed up today, having a tough time of it. His next start will be against the Marlins. Is that a hard thing to do when you got to face a team back to back after they've dusted you the first time?
I think a lot of it depends on what he thinks was the reason for what happened today. I know that for me, if I just went out there and had a day where, you know what, I just can't locate, I can't do the things that I want to do, then I think you're a little bit more apt to write it off as one of those days. Work on whatever corrections you think you got to work on and get consistent in the bullpen and roll with it. If you go out there and you're having what you think is a pretty good day and they're roughing you up, then you're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What adjustments am I going to make? Where do I go?
Yeah.
So I think that it all depends on what he assesses to be the problem. It looked to me, obviously watching the game, his location wasn't what he wanted. It's not what he typically does out there. He was missing in, he was missing up, and that's not typically how he wants to pitch. So if it's a location issue, you fix it in the bullpen and take your chances next time around.
Yeah, Derek will start Friday, and we presume it'll be against Johnson.
Right.
Yeah, I think the other side of that might be more of the issue for Derek is that's 4 starts in a row now that he's not going to win, and I think that's going to start wearing on him more so than what happened today.
Another interesting trip for the Braves. We mentioned the Marlins, then we go to Pittsburgh. Braves make 2 trips to the Steel City this year. It'll be a much different looking Pirate club than the one we saw back in May. On the road is Cabrera. His strikeout victim number 5. 4 in the books in Atlanta. Josh Johnson has a 6-1 lead. South, brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Make it a Hyundai Sunday every week on Fox Sports South. Joe Simpson, Braves legend Tom Glavine, yours truly Chip Carey back at the ballpark. Florida scored 3 in the first inning on a Hanley Ramirez home run off Derek Lowe. They added 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Now Christian Martinez on in relief, working for his second inning today.
Good change up there.
Don't know how long Chad Tracy will be in a Marlins uniform beyond this season. You got a kid by the name of Matt Dominguez, who was their #1 pick 3 years ago and was thought of so highly they took him ahead of Jason Hayward in the draft. And the Baseball America folks are already making Mike Lowell-like comparisons for Dominguez.
So they got he and Stanton in the same draft.
Yes.
Pretty good one.
And Tracy retired. Good off-speed stuff for Christian's first strikeout.
Sherwin-Williams painting the corners, and he didn't have to. He got Tracy to chase 3 off-speed pitches down and away.
Mike Stanton going through a stretch that many rookies do at this level. No hits in his last 27 at bats.
He may have a lot of stuff swimming in his head. And for a young guy, he's only 20. He hasn't even turned 21 yet. He hasn't played that much baseball. So he comes up here, and one of the things he was doing was being, in their opinion, the Marlins being a little passive. He was taking a lot of pitches, and they wanted him to be a little more aggressive early in the count.
Wow, what a play at third. And when you're slumping, that's what happens.
So when he started trying to be a little aggressive early in the count, he started swinging at bad pitches and got himself in bad counts, and then he would chase bad pitches for strikeouts. So I'm sure he's thinking, you know, just let me work this out, I'll be all right. Toyota Tundra play of the game right here for Toyota Tacoma play of the game, beg your pardon. Nice play by Martin to rob him of a hit.
Yeah, going back to Stanton, that's never a good formula when you're taking strikes and swinging at balls.
Bad idea.
Yeah, it doesn't usually work out too well.
Well, you like that philosophy, right?
Yeah, if I'm on the mound, I love it. I want you swinging at the bad ones. And if I make a mistake down the middle, be in take mode.
Please. Other stories we hear about Stanton, and at the age of 20 being very mature for his age, is that, like during batting practice today, I was watching him. He's by himself in right field. He's in a fielding position, and he's working on his jumps off balls off the bat in batting practice. He's not standing around just talking and killing time with guys in the outfield. He's working.
That's something Bobby Cox and the staff noticed when we were last in Florida. 2 o'clock, 2:30 before a 7 o'clock game. You know how cavernous Sun Life Stadium is. Before anybody gets there, there's Mike Stanton running the stadium stairs in that heat with a full sweatsuit on, getting his work in.
It's a good idea. If you're working hard and everybody knows you work hard, they'll give you a little bit more slack when you're struggling.
And Davis to short. 3 up, 3 down, halfway through the ball game in Atlanta. Florida still maintains a comfortable lead.
Gridiron Live, the only weekly SEC preview show that gives you a voice. So head on over to SECGridironLive.com and learn more on how you can get involved every Wednesday night at 10 Eastern on Fox Sports South.
And SEC fans everywhere certainly looking forward to that show. And for the folks, guys, here in Metro Atlanta, very exciting time for the folks at Georgia State. Their football program kicks off on Thursday. First ever college football game.
Do we know who they play?
Yes. Shorter University.
Well, we wish Bill Curry and his team good luck. I know they've got a date somewhere on the schedule with Alabama.
Last game of the year, I think.
That's got to be pretty exciting for Bill, though. I mean, to know that he's the guy in the forefront of starting the program at a university, that's got to be pretty neat. Good guy to do it.
Exciting times for Georgia State, Georgia Tech, UGA, all the folks around the country. College football season is here. Pennant races are upon us. Baseball playoffs. Great time of year to be a sports fan.
People don't much care about college football around here, do they? I had never noticed.
Just a slight interest. Broken bat. And Keel sawed off. And there's the first out in the Braves' fifth inning.
That's the second time he's had one split right down the middle today.
Now Martinez will hit for himself. Braves need innings out of Christian today. Don't want to decimate your bullpen with that Mets series coming up.
It's his fourth at bat. Looking for his first hit.
I feel it right here. All right, maybe not.
I always want to know whose bat he's got. You're just sitting over there as a position player thinking, that looks like my bat. Oh, no.
Omar might want to stay alive on the on-deck circuit.
Uh-huh.
That have a 53 on the knob of the bat? Might have been Melky Cabrera. As Johnson has his sixth strikeout in the game. Platinum recording artist and country music sensation Montgomery Gentry will perform a free concert here at Turner Field. It's brought to you by Delta Airlines and Coca-Cola. After the Braves-Cardinals game Saturday, the 11th of September. For tickets and on-field passes, visit Braves.com/Montgomery Gentry or call 800-745-3000.
You can also call that number and get some information on Girls' Night Out Friday, so that if you come with the girls and you meet somebody, like we were talking about last night, then you might want to come back on Saturday see Montgomery Gentry. So you can go to the same website, Braves.com/girlsnight, and get info for that. And what's cool about that is that the Braves will donate $5 from each ticket to the American Heart Association's Red Dress campaign. A worthy cause.
Now, Joe got very excited last night because there's a red boa involved in that.
That's
promo.
right.
Right?
That's right. I think there is. You get a Braves cap and a red feather boa when you buy a ticket for that. Outstanding. But that's just for the girls.
You sure?
I'm telling you, Chip.
I'm staying out of this one.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Omar Infante. Johnson settled in now. He sent down 7 straight.
Dave Baker did some work this morning on Omar and the fact that he could win the batting title without having enough plate appearances to qualify if they just tack on however many at-bats he needs to qualify. Joey Votto's hitting .326 right now, leading the league. And Omar's at 342. And basically added up with 32 games to go after today, how many hits it might take for him to hit 330, for example. Omar would need 51 hits based on 4 at-bats a game the rest of the way. I think he's in a real good position to do it. The way he's been swinging all year, no reason to think that he won't continue to stay hot. Be a good capper for his already good season.
Yeah, remember all the grief that he took after he was named the National League Reserve Player for the All-Star game. Be a nice bit of icing on the cake if he could win the batting title. As that one stroked into center, and a diving catch made out there by Bonifacio.
Just a tremendous jump by the speedster out there. Otherwise, that's in front of most every other outfielder in the league.
He's had a good series. And Josh Johnson having a good day today with a 6-1 lead after 5. To you in part by KFC, by AT&T, and by Blimpie. Nice crowd on hand at Turner Field, but this one got out of hand early. Florida led 5-1 after 3. They lead 6-1 after 5 now. And the man responsible for some of that is the man leading things off for the Fish. That's Josh Johnson. That ball's well hit. But Melky in left tracks it down, and Christian Martinez has retired 6 straight.
Tommy, we were talking about Derek Lee and his command today, maybe not happy with his location. Derek Lowe, excuse me. And here's an example of some of the pitches that he did give up for hits.
Yeah, and all those pitches, they're not necessarily strikes on the plate. They're probably a little bit off the plate, some of them, but they're up. And that's, you know, for Derek being a sinker ball pitcher, you know, that's a tough way for him to be pitching. And what ends up happening, you know, when we've seen Derek get at his best, he's got that sinker pounding the zone, then he's able to throw that slider that breaks out of the zone. When he's not hitting with his sinker and he's got to start throwing that slider for strikes, he can't break it off the corner like that.
2 outs. And to your point about Lowe being up, just 2 ground ball outs. And he and Tim Hudson all year long have been first or second in whichever order they've been for the most ground ball outs in the league.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a telltale sign. And, you know, you don't know. I mean, I'm sure people start talking about, well, maybe he's tired a little bit, whatever, and you hear the argument that, well, sinker ballers, when they're tired, they get a better sinker, which I don't quite understand, because so much of that sinker is your finish. And if you're tired and you're not getting to your finish, then I'm not sure how you end up having a better sinker. But, you know, I'm sure Derek has a pretty good idea of what he's feeling out there, and it's a work in progress. He's going to have to continue to go to the bullpen and try and get a little bit more consistent, better feel on what he's doing, and when he does, he'll get back to that ground ball pitcher.
2 quick strikes to Logan Morrison.
I don't want to put you on the spot with respect to Tommy Hanson, but did you see any of his start a couple of days ago?
I did, yeah. I did the game Friday night on radio, so yeah, I watched the whole thing. He looks like he's just pulled off the ball a little bit, you know, and fastball command is his key, and he didn't have it Friday night. You know, and it looked, in the few times that I don't see him obviously as much in as regularly as you guys do, but you know, I know he has a tendency to fall off towards the first base dugout, but he looked like he was doing it a lot the other night, and just, you know, I was hard pressed to think that he threw 2 good pitches in a row. You know, it looked like he was constantly, you know, he'd throw a good fastball and then he didn't throw a good breaking ball, or he'd throw a good breaking ball and then he couldn't hit with his fastball, or he'd throw 2 or 3 fastballs in a row out of the zone, then he'd hit with one, and he just, like all night long, he was fighting himself to find that consistency. But that, you know, he's another guy. I mean, you know, people are going to be deceived by looking at his 1-loss record. He's pitched pretty darn well. He just hasn't benefited from the way he's pitched, and that's a tough thing to go through.
To first, and an easy inning for Christian Martinez. 8 up, 8 down.
It's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. And the cold rain. Big play off the bat of Dan Ugla. Check swing, little tapper to first, foot race on. Eric Hinsky apparently loses the race, according to first base umpire Alan Porter, but the freeze cam proves that Eric won the race to the bag. And that turned out to be a pivotal play in the 3rd inning as 2 runs scored in the inning, including Ugla. That's the Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Three, 4, 5 coming up for the Braves now, down 6-1. And Martin Prado has been struck out twice by Josh Johnson, both times swinging.
And both on high fastballs.
The Mets are in town tomorrow night. A 4-game series here at Turner Field. It'll be Jair Jurgens and Pat Mish to open things up.
You remember anything about Pat Mish from your days with New York?
I don't. I remember hearing his name, but I don't know anything about him.
Braves will miss R.A. Dickey, who's pitching today for New York and is beating Houston. But they will see Nice, then Pelfrey, then Santana. Johan's been pitching great ball all month. That'll be Hudson Santana Thursday night. That's a marquee matchup. And as we told you, the Braves hit the road. 3 in Florida, 3 in Pittsburgh. And that gets us through our first week of September already. There's that high fastball again.
You're going to have to look long and hard to find a game where Martins fanned 3 times in a game. Fox track showing you nipped the high part of the zone, but it was going up out of the zone when it got to that point.
Three times and 3 times on the same pitch too. I was going to ask you guys earlier. Again, I haven't seen as many games as you guys do, but how many other teams play this shift on Brian on the infield?
I would say 2, 3, 4 maybe. No more than 4.
You know, good for Brian right there. But you know, there are certain guys that I think it's a good idea against. I just don't see it with Brian. To me, he hits the ball all over the field too much. That I don't know. It just doesn't seem to add up for me.
A couple of times on the road trip, and once today, he hit the ball right where the shortstop would be playing. He hasn't really been able to drive the ball the other way right down the third base line.
And I asked him about that the other day, and he said part of what he thought was the reason for him not hitting the ball the other way with authority was that he had been overstriding some and trying to get out there and get the ball too quick. Hey, baby.
1 out single for McCann, his first hit of the day.
Laser Baker looked it up for me. Martin Prado has struck out 3 times in a game, 4 times. Today's the 4th time this year, but the last time was June 24th against the White Sox. And that pitch was up from Johnson, and Mac made him pay.
Braves still in this game. It's only the 6th inning. But only 3 hits to this point. So if Hinsky can park one. Eric has the RBI hit of the day. It came with 2 outs in the first.
Doesn't sound like a lot when you talk about a guy going from 95 miles an hour to 88. But from a hitter standpoint, it is when you're trying to be ready for the 95. And you just any forward movement at all, you're done.
McCann got an excellent jump. But with 2 strikes, Hinsky had to swing at the ball. And we will do it again with a 1-2 count.
When you're reaching 95, 96, you can get away with that 5-7 mile an hour, 4 or 5 mile an hour difference, because you're right, you're having to gear up so much to hit the top end that other end seemed a lot slower.
Boy, he fought off a good one there.
I think that would have been B-Mac. He would have stole second standing up on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think he does that too many times.
He's 5 out of 6 on the year. He picks his spots, and that was a good one a minute ago. Boy, Eric. Fighting off some good pitches.
Johnson now at 98 for the game.
Their bullpen has been part of their problem this year and why they're only 2 games over 500. the bullpen and their defense the weakest parts of their ball club.
There's a strange dynamic within the division. I mean, you look at them, they're in third place. They're 8.5 games back. But if you break it, they're the only team in the division with a winning record on the road. They have the most wins within the division, and yet they're 8.5 games back out.
Oh, no.
That wasn't a swing. But Hinsky's down on strikes, and Bobby can't believe it.
Man, what a big battle he put up. No. The bat stopped. I mean, his hands kept coming forward a little bit. The bat stopped.
Somebody's getting thrown out.
Now he's going to add insult to injury and throw somebody out from the dugout. That's just...
I don't understand that part of it either. Hinsky's in the dugout. Nobody in the world except the umpire knows he's hollering at him. Why make a bad situation worse?
Flip a coin, Bobby said. I still think he got it stopped.
Yeah, he didn't go. That's not a swing.
So a big second out for Johnson. And the Phillies are watching this game, and Ryan Howard knows exactly what Eric Hinsky's feeling. Remember, Ryan was thrown out of the game in Philadelphia. That was the Oswalt game, the game that Roy had to go play left field, and as the Phillies were out of position players, Oswalt had to bat in Howard's spot and made the last out of the game. So someone was ejected. And apparently it wasn't Eric Hinsky.
Must have been Bobby.
Fourth time this year, if it is Bobby, that he's been ejected. And that will retire the side. Braves get a hit. And nothing else in the sixth. 6-1 Florida. Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. Our game today brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Make it a Hyundai Sunday every week on Fox Sports South. And today's broadcast is presented in beautiful high definition by H.H. Gray. Well, one bright spot today has been Christian Martinez. He's thrown 3 relief innings, allowing just 1 run to the Florida club. And he's retired 8 straight men. Told you earlier, last year, Christian was the Marlins minor league pitcher of the year.
How does that happen? I mean, how do you an organization's minor league pitcher of the year and then the next year you don't get through spring training? And it's not like they have an abundance of arms down there in their bullpen.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, especially with the huge turnaround they've had, turnover, I should say, in personnel down there all year long.
Just think how we can only assume the Marlins' record might have been better had they had Martinez in their bullpen instead of in the Braves.
Let's get Freddie Gonzalez on the phone. Find out what happened.
Okay.
Trying to find a way to get this guy out.
I haven't seen him enough. They're not sure yet. Change up in the dirt would be a good try. Young guys usually have a hard time with that.
I like that.
I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Did you put down the sign?
I have an earpiece in Mac's ear.
So that's 9 in a row retired by Martinez. And time to enjoy our quote of the day, brought to you by Geico. Back-to-back nights for the Braves with pitching milestones. First Billy Wagner on Friday, Tim Hudson's 1,500th career strikeout yesterday. And a goosebump moment for him, he said. As Ugla is the 10th man in a row retired in relief.
Well, how did he save the ball? Did he throw it away, or what did he do?
You know,
I think he threw. I think somebody threw it out. Actually, I think they did.
As long as he didn't do what Charlie Liebrand did
in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
He had a milestone strikeout, and we were still in the middle of the inning, and he threw the ball into the dugout, and it was a live ball.
He was halfway to the dugout, and he's calling time. It's bouncing on the turf at the vet, and Charlie's going, time. Runners are running. That was a beauty.
In the air by Sanchez. That's well hit to right. And on the warning track, Jason Hayward tracks it down. Boy, Christian Martinez has had a marvelous day in relief. He's retired 11 straight as we stretch.
from the Atlanta Opera with God Bless America, and boy, he can belt it out. I hope he gets to do that in the postseason.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice. Get him sing the anthem in the postseason.
Yeah.
Well, there is some good news at the ballpark. Josh Johnson's done. And it is a 6-1 ball game in favor of the Florida Ball Club as we revisit our AT&T U-verse trivia question. This afternoon's question was, Josh Johnson's got the second lowest Marlins team ERA in history with a minimum of 400 innings pitched. Do you know whose ERA is lower?
I like Tommy's pick of Kevin Brown. I'm going to ride that one.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Well,
bingo. Knew you were here for something.
Yeah, well, you know, I have to bring something to the table.
Called the good change-up. You got the trivia question right. You're 2 for 2 today.
I got to start calling some home runs for the Braves.
Let's go. Get with it. So Johnson out of the ball game. He pitched a beauty. 8 strikeouts. And here's a collage of his work today.
8 strikeouts on the day. 3 times he got Martin Prado. And while he got off to a rough start, Tom, I think he settled in late and looked more like himself.
He did. I think you could see signs a little bit of why he struggled a little bit. His early in the game, his fastball command was a little bit shaky, but I think what he was able to do early in the game was get in the strike zone with his off-speed pitches, and then as that kind of started to gain some confidence for him, he became a little bit more aggressive with his fastball and did a really nice job, particularly on Martin, on elevating the fastball in the strike zone or close to it and getting some strikeouts.
So he'll give way to right-hander Jose Veras, who's been very good since coming back from AAA. He's got the lower part of the Braves order coming up in this 7th inning.
He'll give up some walks, but he registers a lot of strikeouts, better than 1 per inning, and just a 193 average against him.
So if you're going to walk guys, you better have the strikeout arsenal, and you better not give up any hits.
Melky's walked today. He has struck out looking today. Battle of former Yankees now. Rivera's pitched with the Yankees and Indians over in the American League. Didn't we see this guy try to close out a game in Miami?
Yeah, and he was unsuccessful.
Yeah. Leo Nunez was unavailable that day. And there's the base on balls. Last thing the Marlins want to see with a big lead. Braves need all the help they can get with 9 outs left with which to play.
Nunez is their closer, and they've got a couple of good setup guys in Clay Hensley and Brian Sanchez. They may be the guys that Randy St. Clair was on the phone to get them going.
Let's see if Rick Ankiel's bat can survive this 7th inning matchup with Veras.
We can throw you a strike first.
Did to even the count.
Braves bullpen ranks 2nd in the National League. The Marlins bullpen 9th.
Edwin Rodriguez took Johnson out after 103 pitches. 68 of those pitches were for strikes. Popped up. Wind is pushing that over toward the Marlin dugout. Will it reach? No. And Ankiel pops out for the first out. Brooks Conrad, the batter. 4 innings of 1-run relief for Christian Martinez. Boy, did he do his job.
That's exactly what you want a guy to do in that situation. Hold the fort, keep you in it. Most importantly, don't let you burn your bullpen.
4 innings, 2 hits, a run, and 2 strikeouts, and he finished by retiring 11 straight men.
Came in throwing strikes, no walks at all.
So a little payback for his former club today. Braves, as you know, do a lot of scoring in the final 3 innings. As Conrad flies to right. Johnny Venters will be on next. And Omar Infante, the only man to touch the plate today for the Braves.
From an offense standpoint for the Braves, they need to find some middle ground somewhere. 10 runs in Colorado Wednesday, and then 1 run Friday. 12 runs last night, 1 run today.
But not nearly as many opportunities today, just 3 hits.
That's true. Josh Johnson again, he settled in, looked like his old self.
Johnson in 2 starts against the Braves this year has given up 1 earned run in 12 innings.
Continues his dominance in the National League East.
Yeah.
Marlins have a bunch of games left with the Phillies, too. Keep that in mind. There's a chance that they could run into Josh Johnson a time or 2.
I'm talking about painting the corners. Sherwin-Williams there.
Can't paint any better than that.
In fact, after the Braves play down in Florida, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of September, Marlins go right up to Philadelphia and play them in a 3-game series. Runner at first goes. Pitch grounded toward third. Tracy has to make the long throw. And that retires the side. We're through 7 at Turner Field. Florida leads it still 6-1.
The Toyota Tundra hardest working player, and today that goes to Christian Martinez, who came in and really did a good job in long relief. 4 innings of 2-hit ball. He gave up 1 run. That was the first inning he worked, and after that he retired 11 straight batters. Recorded a couple of strikeouts, no walks. Trying to hold this Marlins offense at bay while the offense catches up. And it's getting late in that regard.
Brooks Conrad stays in the game. He'll play second base. Rest of the afternoon off for Omar Infante. And the AT&T call to the bullpen has been made. It'll be left-hander Johnny Venters. Face the lower part of the Marlins order that starts with Chad Tracy. And Tracy will be taken down now for Wes Helms.
Johnny's ERA, as outstanding as it is, has taken a hit in his last 2 outings. The 2 games he pitched at Colorado, he gave up 5 runs in 2 2/3 innings.
Colorado has ruined many an ERA over the years.
Yes, it has.
But a chance for Johnny in a game led by Florida big to get his legs back under him, a little confidence back. And he should be off to a good start, but isn't. For no fault of his own, that one under the glove of Alex Gonzalez at short.
Martin started to cut over and go for that, and then it looked like Alex may have called him off because he was kind of swooping in to get it. He needed a good hop and didn't get that either. Ball stayed down on him. They scored an E6.
Now Stanton hits. Marlins, I'm sure, looking for positives with this kid. He really ripped the ball last time up. But is still 0 for 3 today and 0 for his last 28. Phillies and Padres tee it up in about 15 minutes. Hamels and Richard at Petco Park. Mets beating the Astros 5-1. That one now in the 9th inning. What a pickup R.A. Dickey has been for the New York club. I'm glad we're going to miss him with that knuckleball pitch. And Stanton's troubles continue. He's 0 for 4, 1 out. And the National League picture looks this way on this Sunday afternoon. Tommy, can you figure out the Cardinals?
No, I don't think the Cardinals can figure out the Cardinals. Very streaky team, which is not, I don't know, that's not typical of them.
Not with their pitching staff.
No, you wouldn't figure. I was just going to say, you wouldn't figure with that pitching staff they would be streaky.
They played really good ball against the Reds, really bad ball against just about everybody else in the division with a losing record. And that's Wainwright and Lannon today at Nationals Park.
The other team I can't figure out right now is the Giants with their pitching staff too. They're just getting pummeled out there by Arizona. Diamondbacks have good offense. Strike out a lot.
Up the middle. And a hit for Davis. Well, in a rotation that has Zito and Kane and Lincecum and Sanchez, how many wins would you guess their starters would have in August so far?
Ooh.
And Bumgarner?
Combined, I would say close to 10.
5. Giants rotation has 5 wins this month.
Huh.
That's it.
Well, I know Lincecum hasn't won a game.
Correct. And Barry Zito yesterday, the shortest outing in his big league career as the Diamondbacks put a 6 spot on him in the first inning. The Giants now a game and a half behind the Phillies for the National League wild card, and they've got to start looking over their shoulder at the Rockies. Colorado's winning again as Hector Luna bats and swings and misses. So Luna for Veras here in the 8th.
See, Colorado would be another one of those if we could. They can just figure out what they're doing in the second half and do it in the first half one of these years. They'd run away with the division.
And on the road, too. I mean, they've always been a much different home-road club. But we saw Colorado sweep the Braves at Coors Field last week. Todd Hilton's hit homers in 2 straight games for him now. And we know all about the Rockies' ability to win 21 out of 22 if need be. They did that a couple years ago. So they're in the thick of things out west.
Yeah, if they've got a predominantly home-heavy schedule the last part of the year, which I don't know if they do or not, they could definitely be a factor.
And word is that that makeup game I was talking about, where the Phillies have to stop in for 1 game, might be Aaron Cook who's going to get the ball for Colorado. He was scheduled to make a rehab start. If all went well, he would, in all likelihood, get the baseball.
It's a turf toe. An odd injury in baseball.
Full count.
Johnny did a better job there. It looked like Tom of driving to the plate early in the count to Luna. He was really falling off to the third base side.
Yeah, keeping that front side closed a little bit longer.
Second strikeout.
It's 95 gas right by him. Nice comeback after falling behind 3-1. Here's a guy who has had some kind of good series.
Bonifacio.
I mean, no matter the fact that Stanton's been struggling, when he was starting opening night of this series, you thought, okay, well, that's a break. And he got 2 hits and scored a run. Today he goes to the leadoff spot, and he's on base twice. He scored twice and made a really good play in center field.
I'm talking with the Marlins people, Joe. They're really working with him. It sounds like in a punitive way, but they're really trying to get him to concentrate on laying off letter high pitches.
Left-handed, he has tomahawked a couple of letter high pitches in this series. Like the one earlier today, the ground rule double, that we were amazed that he kept it fair.
I'm thinking with his style of hitting and his game in general, the letter high fastball is not going to be conducive to success for him. He's got to learn how to hit the ball on the ground and just take advantage of his speed.
And what they do is they throw him high pitches in batting practice. If he swings at them, he gets fewer swings. Trying to teach him, obviously, to lay off that pitch, recognize it, not swing at it. I think players like him are going to become more and more prevalent in the game, Tommy?
They have to, yes. I mean, you know, the days of 1 through 8 hitting 30 home runs in your lineup, I think, are gone. So I think the speed element is going to be a much bigger factor.
And he certainly has that. And now a 2-2 count.
Which is good. I mean, I like it. It adds more strategy. It, you know, puts a little bit more pressure on the pitcher, on the defense. You know, it's more of an exciting brand of ball than sitting around waiting for a home run.
I don't know where that got Mac, but it couldn't have felt very good.
A wild pitch will move Helms up 90 feet. He stands at third base now.
That looked like it got the glove in the chest protector, so that's good, but I can't believe Brian was able to keep it in front of him as well as he did.
Now the base is loaded for Logan Morrison, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup. You mentioned how Billy Wagner, Joe, noticed that Morrison doesn't flinch against hard-throwing lefties. Here's another chance to see if that's the case.
Yeah, and Tommy Hutton, their analyst on television for the Marlins broadcast, said that he's been as impressive for a young hitter against left-handed pitching as any young guy, rookie, that he's seen, because he just stands in there and doesn't matter left or right. Had a good swing at that fastball, but he's got his work cut out for him against Venners.
Who among rookie pitchers in the National League has the lowest ERA. Johnny in the top 10 in strikeouts has the lowest batting average against.
And if you're wondering, well, where's this guy been all year? I mean, it came down in spring training. It was a battle between he and Gabby Sanchez as to who was going to be the first baseman. But remember, they had Cody Ross and they had Chris Coughlin in the outfield, and they didn't really have room for him anywhere. Once the Coughlin got hurt, there was space and made an opening.
And with Coughlin due to come back from his knee problems next year, there's talk they may try him at third base until Dominguez is ready. Keep Morrison in left, Sanchez at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Throws him over the outside corner.
Clinched on that one.
And Johnny struck out the side to send this game to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 6-1 Florida game, and as you see in our Blimpie game summary, Josh Johnson had a very good start. Derek Lowe did not. Hanley Ramirez 2 for 2 before leaving with dizzy spells. What was the exact? Lightheadedness. Yes. Beg your pardon. And Bobby Cox disputing a check swing strikeout of Eric Hinsky was ejected for the 4th time this season and the 157th time in his career. Braves have 6 outs left, down 5 runs, and they'll face former Brave Will Ullman.
Will had a really good year for the Braves back in 2008. He was in 83 games, went 4-1 with a 3.68 ERA. Marlins got him this year from Baltimore.
That was a trade that sent starting pitcher Rick Vandenherk to the Orioles. And Ullman pitched 51 times in the American League.
.33 years old now.
Popped up. Wes Helms again near the Florida dugout. Reaches at the rail and is saved by Chad Tracy.
It's amazing that that railing held him. Oh boy, that probably hurt a little bit too. And you get that head going one way, it's hard to stop a Wes.
That's a big boy right there.
Yes, it is.
And an obviously reinforced beam across the top of the fence. As Hayward now a 3-2 count. Leadoff walk. There's a start.
It's only the second walk that Oman's issued as a Marlin in 7 1/3 innings. He had 10 strikeouts, or has 10 strikeouts to go with that.
The happiest man in the park, that Josh Johnson is out of the game as the man in the batter's box.
Will is a sinker, slider, curveball guy, and right now he's not getting the calls on that sinker, nor is he getting the Braves to chase it.
Braves are a club that will walk a time or two. They've earned 5 of them today. None of them have yet scored. In the air to right. And one out for Brian McCann. Day for the Braves catcher. He's also walked. Hey, what a play in the second row of seats.
like Farnsworth will work the 9th. Good at bat here for McCann, working it full against the lefty. Runner at first. The Marlins can't put their shift on. They got to play it straight up. And maybe with a left-handed pitcher, they feel like he's not going to try to pull as much as well.
Base hit right side. Hayward will cut the bag at second, and the Braves will have him at the corners.
Might have been an out into the shift.
Might have.
Good at bat by Bryan, working the count full and got a fastball down that he could handle and put good swing on.
Took advantage of that nice hole over there.
Shorter stride, too, over the last 4 or 5 games. And it's paid off for him.
Pinsky called out on a check swing in the 6th inning. Braves had McCann aboard with 1 out. Mike Everett ruled strike 3. Bobby Cox was ejected for arguing. And now Hinsky smokes one into right center field. Bonifacio on the run. Can't get it. Hayward scores. McCann will be stopped. It's a double. And the Braves making some big time noise in the 8th inning now.
Bryan had to wait to make sure that ball got down. And with Bonifacio's speed, you never know if he might track it down. So he was only able to make it as far as third base for that reason. Foxtrac's pitch shows that it was out on the outside corner, and Hinsky went out around it and hit it hard.
Thigh high, so you can get to it. If that ball's down, maybe not.
So Clay Hensley will come on and try to restore order for the Marlins. A leadoff walk leads to Will Omen's undoing. And the Braves have 1 in, 2 on, and 1 out. Omen, and that draws the Braves a run closer. 6-2 now with 2 runners in scoring position. Alex Gonzalez due up with Clay Hensley on the mound. Here's what's coming up for the Braves this week. 4 with the Mets. Those games will be on Peachtree TV. Then we join you again Friday, Saturday, Sunday down in Miami for another 3-game series with the Marlins. Alex Gonzalez, 12 RBIs in the last 13 games. And he's greeted by ball one from Clay Hensley.
He's been used as their 8th inning setup guy a lot. This is his 54th game. Good numbers and real good numbers against Atlanta. He's been in 7 games against the Braves, 8 1/3 innings, only 1 run allowed, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. It's a 1.08 ERA. Good sinking action, good cutter, good changeup.
Again, here's where you like good patience from the Braves hitters.
Well, they showed that against Ullman. Every one of the guys went up there and kind of waited Ullman out and got a good pitch to hit.
McCann singled, Hinsky doubled. Hayward walked and scored in the inning.
Good pitch there. Turned it over a little bit. Again, their bullpen's been their undoing so many times this year. That and their defense. Get those 2 guys in that are out there now sitting on the pond and take your chances.
Hensley made the Marlins as a non-roster player. Was a starting pitcher with the Padres back in 2006. He's pitched in the playoffs twice. In 05 and 06 with San Diego. And an off-speed pitch is the second out.
Good spot there to the back point of the plate.
Yeah, looked like he threw him that sweeping slider on the pitch before and out of the hand. I think Alex thought it was the same pitch, but a little bit slower, a little bit more break on that one.
Couple of walks from Melky. He's also struck out.
Morrison is so shallow in left field. I think he chased a bad one there, but for a guy who doesn't normally play the outfield, he's playing Cabrera almost like a pitcher to the outfield.
And now they slide Bonifacio about 6 feet to his right, closer to Morrison in center field. Dribbler hit to the left side. Helms, low throw, it gets away, and 2 runs are going to score. And Melky Cabrera will make his way to second base. A couple of gift runs, and we got a ball game.
Hey, you guys remember last night when Hayward hit that rocket that almost took Sanchez's arm off because of the low shot? You could understand that. Now Wes Helms has a terrific arm. He's coming across the diamond, throws on the run, and that didn't look like a low throw. It looked like it handcuffed Sanchez. We'll get a better look here. It was not in the dirt. It just went off the end of his glove.
He just missed it.
Yep.
So the Braves are now 1 swing of the bat away from tying this game.
Just waffled the web of his glove. Good camera there, camera work there on our Foxmo.
And it is charged an error to the first baseman, Gabby Sanchez. So three runs go to Ullman.
Defense in their bullpen.
And the more hitters that bat here in the 8th means another opportunity for guys like Hayward, Prado, and McCann to hit in the 9th against Leo Nunez.
Pick up one more here. Gift.
Ground ball to second. And that will retire the side. Braves pull to within 2. 3 runs come across, and we go to the 9th. And they'll have the middle of their order coming up against another pitcher out of the Braves bullpen. Time now for a money and energy-saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Caulk and weather strip around windows and doors to save money and energy. Go to GeorgiaPower.com for more energy-saving tips. Georgia Power, a Southern company. And the AT&T call to the bullpen will be answered by a very well-rested Takashi Saito.
He last worked 5 days ago against Colorado, gave up a couple of unearned runs, struck out the side in that effort, but also gave up 3 hits that inning. And this is only his second outing since the 17th of August.
So Donnie Murphy will be the first man that greets Takashi Saito in the 9th inning. And he's 1 for 2. And Ramirez left the game with lightheadedness.
Love to have a quick shutdown inning. Keep the momentum, get your offense back up there. Let Brooks Conrad lead off the 9th. Leo Nunez, their closer, is loosening up.
And then after Conrad, you've got the pitcher spot, then Jason Hayward.
Good curveballs.
And a 92-mile-an-hour fastball in a perfect spot.
Tommy, I don't know if you noticed that when you came to the ballpark today, but your number's still up there.
Yeah, I see that. Nobody stole it yet. They haven't taken it down. They haven't changed their mind.
Yeah, still there.
Gone up there yet?
Have not.
See it from here. Why does he need to go up there?
Yeah.
Good point. Well, you know, you want to pat it and make sure it's doing okay.
No. I'm afraid if I hit it, I might hit it and knock it down. And they won't put it back up.
Here's Dan Uggla. This guy's in launch mode every at bat, isn't he?
Well, he needs one more home run to do something that nobody else in the history of the game, second baseman anyway, have ever done. You give him 4 straight 30 home run seasons, which is hard to believe that no other second baseman's ever done it.
It is.
Think about Rhino and Joe Morgan, for example. Popped up. Mark Lemke, certainly in that esteemed group.
That's what I always think. Joe Morgan, Ryan Sandberg, Mark Lemke, and
just flows off the lips, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Defensively, Lemmer deserves to be in that conversation.
Phillies are underway out in San Diego. No score after 1 at Petco Park. Rockies lead the Dodgers by 2. Reds and Mets have already won. Washington beat the Cardinals 2 today. And they beat Adam Wainwright.
Well, he's gone into a slide. That's at least 3 straight losses, if not 4 for him.
Well, as long as he's sliding September 9th through the 12th.
Yeah.
We'll be happy with that. That's when the Cardinals come to town for a 4-game series.
It'll be St. Simon's night here that night. Everybody will be coming up. It's 3 straight losses for him. Now the Braves owe the Cardinals a little something after a 4-game series in St. Louis earlier in the year that was in the midst of that 9-game losing streak, and the Braves playing without a doubt their worst baseball of the year, so maybe they can get some payback.
And that series in St. Louis came after the Braves' only home series loss of the season against the Phillies. Got to come back in this one to avoid dropping 2 out of 3 to Florida.
Let's take a look at Fox Tracks on this fastball. If it missed, it just barely missed.
Uggla didn't barely miss. 2 outs.
Fastball right by him, too.
Tight race in the East, tight race in the wild card. And no score, as we told you, out west.
Giants are just fortunate that they go to the second inning scoreless the way the Diamondbacks have pounded them in the first inning.
Zito gave up 6 in the first yesterday. 4 of them were earned. Wow.
I'm told that the Diamondbacks had the bases loaded in the first today, but the Giants got out of it.
Well, I'm sure our pal Bo Osborne's got the right scouting report working for the Giants today. Bo at the ballpark every day and night here in Atlanta, one of the Giants scouts. And a former Atlanta Cracker. Two balls and a strike. Wes Helms would love a chance to atone for that low throw. It wasn't his error, but Sanchez's. It brought home 2 of the 3 Atlanta runs in the 8th. And now a full count pitch.
This guy's strong, Gabby Sanchez. I don't know that I really realized it until this series, just how strong he is and how he can handle and fight off pitches inside to get something more to his liking to try to drive it to right center or left center. Really good looking hitting rookie. Wide stance, wide base.
And he earns a 2-out walk. Braves did make a roster move before the game today. Mike Minor was added back to the roster. He will start against New York. Craig Kimbrell was sent back to AAA Gwinnett today. And that was to try to help out the right side of the Braves bullpen, which was worked a lot and touched up a lot on the last road trip.
I thought maybe they were unhappy with his 12 strikeout performance against the Cubs, and they sent him down there to work on some things.
Yeah.
Sounds like he got it ironed out, right?
I think so.
What did Crash Davis say? Strikeouts are fascist. Put the ball in play. Be a little more democratic. Boy, Mike was awfully good against the Cubs. An Atlanta rookie record for strikeouts in a game. It tied the franchise mark all-time too. He'll pitch here Tuesday night.
Gosh, that good curveball, but he has to be able to do that. Just pitch inside with his fastball, keep the right-handed hitters honest, and keep them off that outside part of the plate. And located that fastball beautifully after Brian asked for it away.
Two strikeouts for Saito in the inning. Since 2006, he's in the top 10 among all relievers in strikeouts in the North American Baseball Leagues. And here's where he wants action with a 2-2 count.
Well, he went fastball in, fastball away, fastball in, fastball away. Wes Helms thinking right along with him. Might be thinking about another one inside, but I'm surprised he hadn't thrown the curveball. I was looking for it 2 pitches ago. In fact, Brian called for it and he shook it off.
I think it's coming right here. He's gotten him off that outside corner with that fastball in. So
going back out there with a heater.
In the air to left. And we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Do the Braves have another last at bat win in them today? We'll find out in just a moment. 1 and 2 spots coming up in this 6-4 Florida game. And there have been a couple of notable home runs hit today around the major leagues, and that's the subject of our Airtran notable home run list.
Carlos Gonzalez is making a bona fide effort to go for that triple crown. 2 more homers today, and Jay Bruce hit 3 homers in a game just a couple of days ago against the Cubs, and he hits another one today.
So Leo Nunez is on to try to close things out. He has 7 blown saves this season, and he's been very busy. This is 56 games for him now. And he'll start with Brooks Conrad.
Need a base runner anyway, anyhow, just to bring the tying run to the plate.
Pitcher's spot is due next, and that's Marlins killer Matt Diaz. This guy will walk a man or two, and this is a guy that has fallen in love with his changeup at times, much to his manager's frustration. And a 4-pitch walk brings the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. And Matt Diaz with a lifetime .380 batting average with 9 home runs against the Marlins, a chance to tie this game.
0 for 3 in his career against Nunez. But you can see with those great numbers against the Marlins, they know how well he hits them. This guy's all over the place. Got to make him throw you a strike. Here comes Randy St. Clair to talk to him. It was Diaz yesterday that got the offense going. Off Ricky Nolasco. Fastball, middle of the plate, and he hit it out to deep right center.
A couple of strikeouts and a walk for Saito in his inning of relief. Get Braves Live coming up after this ball game in Atlanta. Braves trying to rally from a 6-1 deficit. It's 6-4 with a man on and nobody out in the 9th.
Big Jason on deck.
Again, the importance of that big 8th inning for the Braves. They sent 7 men to the plate. That turns your lineup card over and ensures that Nunez has to face the heart of your order.
You know Matty's going to be hacking, but he also knows he's got that big hole on the right side to work with too. And showing some super patience here to get Nunez to get the ball up. Nunez's fastball's in the low 90s, good sinking action. But as Chip said, lately he's been throwing a lot of change-ups, and they're trying to get him off that.
Fly ball, pretty well hit, deep right, back, track, we're tied!
Both them apples.
Wow.
The fish killer Fastball, they wanted it away. They got it up. Look at Matt. He knew. Watch him toss the bat away here. Great extension. He knew exactly where that one was going. Opposite field.
Now, with nobody on or out, you can win the game. Leadoff walks in the 8th and 9th. And the Braves have scored 5 times. And a pop-up right side. Foul ground and out of play for Jason Hayward.
No stride. Got the fastball up that he was wanting. Bit of an inside-out stroke on it, too.
I'll tell you what, if they hit the ball as hard as he does the opposite field, he doesn't get a whole lot of extension over there. He just gets that head of the bat on the ball.
What is it about this club from the 7th inning on? And what is it about this club in their last at bat?
The Marlins defense and their bullpen has been their undoing all year long. Good cut. Just cut it loose. Got a baby.
One out.
That was the change up. He made a good pitch with it. 3-2. Willie Wagner loosening up for the Braves.
22 last at bat wins for Atlanta. 239 runs after the 7th inning. Leadoff walk to Brooks Conrad. Matt Diaz, an opposite field homer, ties this game 6-6. And neither Josh Johnson or Derek Lowe will factor in today's decision, amazingly.
Well, it gets back to Derek. Exactly. It gets back to what we talked about in the middle of the game with Martinez's job in the coming in the bullpen and holding the fort.
And to Joe's point, how about the ugly double in the first that they didn't cash in? Remember, 4 straight guys reached against Lowe to start the game. They couldn't get that 4th run in. You know the Marlins wish they had that one right now.
Way to hang. Martine's been, he had a big cut early in the count, trying to get something that he could hit out of here. And he struck out against Johnson earlier today, one of his strikeouts where he was a little bit on his heels trying to pull something. I'd be surprised unless it's a mistake. I can't imagine they'd try to pitch in the middle in.
Middle. Murphy. And 2 are out.
And that looked like a pitch away from him that he was just trying to pull to the left side. Big day yesterday for Martine. Tough day today.
Ryan is 0 for 3 against Nunez in his career. He has walked 3 times against him, however.
They put the shift on again.
Trying to hit it over the shift on that one.
Yes. Try to hit it over the chop house.
Well, 332 feet would be just fine.
Yeah. In the right place.
Yes.
That's the best fastball he's thrown. That was 96.
Well, 93, 96, 94. If you're not throwing it for a strike, doesn't matter.
No. Their outfield very deep, trying to prevent an extra base hit.
Fly ball, pretty well hit. Get up, baby, get up.
He did. That's out of here. That's out of here.
That's a home run.
They're calling it a double. That's out of here.
McCann standing at second base for now.
That's a home run, boys.
Yeah, that hit off the top of the wall, then the back wall.
We do have instant replay.
And you got the kid umpire who's never umpired here before. He's never seen this before.
They're going to gather, and I'm sure they're going to review it. For now, it's a double.
Well, get ready to trot, Brian.
Right fielder's about halfway in. He knows.
Yeah. Braves are out on the field. They know.
The rule states the umpires can meet. The batter runner can stand at the base. One umpire will stand in the middle of the diamond. They will then go into the video room, look at all the replays, which come from New York, and then the umpires will come out onto the field and render their decision.
We don't need a replay from New York.
And it is on boundary calls.
Here's one from Atlanta. This will show you all you need to see. It's off the railing in the back and off the back wall of the stands. Home run.
And we won't have to say a word. We'll just keep an eye on Tim McClellan, the crew chief, and Turner Field will go crazy.
They've seen the replays in the dugout or down in the little office of Bobby Cox. Terry Pendleton's come out and told Chino Cadahia the Marlins are beginning to walk off the field. They know.
And we cannot show by Major League rule on the big screen at the ballpark the replay itself. No. That's against the rules, so everybody's standing and waiting for the umpires to come out. But this...
It'll skip off one of those support beams and then hit the back wall. Fans knew it. So did everybody in the ballpark, except the first base umpire who's never umpired here before.
And look at Leo Nunez. He doesn't want to come in. The umpires come out, and the decision is home run! Braves win it. We teased a walk-off win in between the top and bottom of the ninth. And the Braves again at home follow the script. Another home series win. They come back from a 6-1 hole and stun the Marlins 7-6.